This week, I'm going to talk to you guys about alternatives to a mounted GPS system. All right, so yeah, we're going to talk about what I use to navigate, what I use as a GPS, how I basically circumvent having a mounted GPS on the skiff. The first item that we'll talk about is a little plastic coated satellite imagery that I have, and it looks like this. Now, this is super cheap, super simple. What I really like about it is that it's an aerial photo, and then it also has on it all the different ramps that I could possibly use. And I don't have to worry about the battery life on this. So if all of my other GPSs that are powered by batteries were to die, I've got this as a backup. Kind of one of the downfalls to it is that it also doesn't have lat and long on it. You're not gonna really find this on the web. Normally you find things like this in your local tackle shop. And I think this costs about 20 bucks. So super cheap, super easy. And then it's foolproof, don't have to worry about battery life. Next kind of GPS I keep on the boat is a Garmin InReach, and it looks like this. So what's cool about this is it does everything that a mounted GPS is going to do. The other thing that this does, as it's an InReach, is that you can get subscription services to SOS. You can also have it set up to where you can send and receive text messages, and you can send out your position at 2-minute or 10-minute intervals, depending on what level of subscription service you have. Some other things that you can get with this is you can get weather updates, and all around it's a really good tool if you're going to go somewhere that you don't have cell phone signal. Now, the subscription services range from the basic being about $15 a month to the most expensive being $65 a month. Honestly, the nice thing with those subscription services is you can do it month by month. So if you know you're going on a big trip, you can go ahead and dial in your subscription service for that month and then cancel it after you get back from your trip. You don't have to keep it going year round, which is typically what I do. Is I just fire up the subscription about a week before I go on a trip, just so I can make sure it works. I can test it at home, make sure I'm sending, receiving text messages. So other things you can do with this is you can actually go into the online program and build out routes, waypoints, and set up preset text messages to help save some money, and then also help save some time, because it's a lot easier to set up routes on your computer than on this little thing. So the next device that I keep on the boat is actually an iPad. There's two different apps that I use on my iPad. The first one that I'll tell you about is an app called iSailor. Now, iSailor is basically an app where this company called Transys has gone in and digitized all of the paper charts and put it into a program form. So the way the app works is you end up buying chart folios. They have different ranges. So for example, the one that I use for Texas includes Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Now these chart folios cost around $15 to $16. And then there's a once a year $3 chart correction fee, which if you're going to be using these to navigate, I highly recommend keeping these charts up to date. This is the program that I use whenever I'm doing any kind of route planning for long distance trips. This is actually the same program that I use on the icebreaker down in Antarctica. Transys, the company that makes this, is the same program that we were taught at the United States Merchant Marine Academy when we were learning navigation and route planning. So this is a very powerful app, and I highly recommend it. Okay, the other app that I use on my iPad is actually an app that I have on my iPad. I have it on my phone as well, and it's an app called OnX. The reason I use OnX is because, first of all, you can take and you can save maps offline. So you can take these satellite imageries, you can save them offline, and you'll have access to all the data. So if you're going somewhere where you might not have a cell phone signal, there's a lot of the backcountry around around. Texas has no cell phone signal. It's good to save these maps offline. You can record your track, so you can keep track of where you're going and where you've been, which is really handy, especially when you're learning areas and you want to make sure that you keep going over the same routes where you know there's good water. Lastly, you can easily drop waypoints, which is actually something that I do as a way to create a record of where I've seen fish and what time of year I've seen fish. So when you drop a waypoint, it will put the time and the date as well as obviously the position you're in. And then what I'll do a lot of times is I'll go back in and I'll edit those waypoints with the type of fish I saw, and if I caught fish, I'll put in what I caught them on, whether it's flies, lures, and what type. The other really awesome upside to onX is you can access all the information that you're saving on these devices on your computer. So I can go home and I can look at this whole record of where I've been and the fish I've been seeing, and I can study it from home. I can also take those routes and waypoints and share them with friends. So if I have a buddy coming into town with his boat and he's not sure where to go and he wants to make sure that he's navigating an area safely, I can send him some of my old tracks so that he has a baseline for where it's safe for him to operate his boat. onX does cost money. Now, it depends on what you want. If you want one state, it'll cost you $30 to have access to all of the data for one state. Now, when I say data, you're going to be given satellite imagery as well as overlays of public land, private land, boat launches, trails, a whole plethora of information. One state will cost you $30. If you want access to all 50 states, it will either cost you $15 a month or $100 for the entire year. Another thing that I didn't mention that I should mention is for all these devices, it's a good idea to carry a battery bank so that if any of these things do start getting low, you can recharge them. Now, one of the things that I had Brian Little do when he built this boat for me is he put in a USB port into the rear storage, so I can go ahead and plug these things in and use that battery power. All right, I hope you guys learned something. Let me know down below in the comments any other apps, maps, tracks, anything that you guys use to help you guys stay safe out on the water outside of a mounted GPS, or if you have a favorite mounted GPS that you think works really well, leave it down in the comments below. Yeah, like I said, hope you guys learned something. Tell me what you guys like to use in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next week.